And welcome, welcome. This is your host, Beate Chalette. I'm also known as the Growth Architect, and I am specialized in growing, building, and scaling businesses. And it's really all about how do you take what you know, what you're really good at, and how do you apply that in a strategic way to your business so that your business kind of can grow in very clearly defined strategic steps that take you forward, exactly that one increment at a time, because forward motion is very important in business. So who is this right for? This kind of growth architecture that I've designed, that is sort of the accumulated knowledge of what I have learned. And I've done so many startup businesses I've created. Elle Magazine was a startup when I started in Germany. And the other magazine I started was a startup magazine in Germany. An artist representation company was a startup company. My stock photography syndication was a startup company. So I'm really all about how do you start. And then, of course, as many of you know, I sold my business to Bill Gates. So I took it all the way to the other side and scaled and then cashed out and walked away from the business. So what we are going to be doing, for clients like you. So let me retract. I said, who is this right for? My clients include medical professionals. I work with a clinic in Seattle who specialized in IBS. I work with other coaches, jewelry designers, somebody who has brick and mortar stores. I work with other consultants, like fashion stylists, technology consulting. So really the gamut of the people that this is right for goes all across. Business is business is business. And the strategies to grow your business, to build your business, and to scale your business are the same for every business. The details obviously are different, but sort of the structure, the system, the modules, the steps are all the same. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn the video camera off, and I am going to start the presentation to what we are covering today. So my clients go from all over the world. So I have clients that are in Germany, in the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, really from all over the world. I've even had, Switzerland, Qatar. And it's kind of fun to see that these ideas really work all over the world. So it's not specific to any kind of category. And what I've noticed as being a business owner and an entrepreneur myself, that we get to a certain level with what we know. But then when we hit that brick wall, we really need a strategy and the steps to get sort of to that next level. And if you have been stuck in that same, that just means that you have gotten as far as you could with the knowledge that you have, and you may need to add another skill set to get over that next step. And most importantly, as we're building businesses, what exactly are these steps and what are those steps in order? Now, if you knew that these steps existed and they are proven to work, then why wouldn't you follow these exact steps in that right order? And one of those steps, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is finding the right customers and really how to talk to them. And that's what I will be showing you today, what those steps are. We'll be sharing the first common problem that business owners have when they look at customer profiles and avatar, and the number one mistake that many of us, maybe even you, are making when we're creating these profiles. Then we're going to be covering a second problem that deals with very specific details that you must know when you identify which client is your best fit, your ideal customer. In the Growth Architect, we call it your airtight avatar. And then I'm going to take you through a third problem, which is only the biggest problem you have, even when you know who your customer is, and I'll show you exactly how to resolve that. So let's just talk really quickly about how this webinar works. Melinda is, I think, womaning the chat room. So you want to just tell everybody about the chat room?
Well, sure. All you'll need to do is go on into the chat and post your question. I will wait for a suitable break in Beate's speaking to introduce the question and the speaker, and then we can get your questions answered. Now, Beate, are we going to do a little bit of a Q&A at the end here?
Absolutely, yes. We will have time for Q&A. So if you have questions, please go ahead and type those questions in, or just use the chat feature and just introduce yourself, where you are from and what your name is, so I kind of get Diego from the bunker. I love it. Thank you so much. It's kind of nice to see who is on the call and who is here, so that we can make it a little bit more personal. That always helps me. And yes, if you have questions, please bring your questions in, and then we will be answering all of your questions. So no question will be going unanswered. All right, so let's dive in right away. So what we're going to cover today, and this is what you can do immediately when we're done with the call today, is understanding how to use growth architecture so you can grow, build, and scale your business. You will hopefully figure out which step should be addressed next in your business, because once you know the growth architecture, it's going to be relatively easy for you to say, I am here, or I am there, and I am, this is where I'm stuck. And that really helps you to resolve sort of this puzzle sometimes of why you're stuck in a no growth zone, or the growth is going too slowly. Then you will know how to create a customer profile, and we'll talk about why that even matters. And then one of the biggest points I will be making today, which will be at the end of the presentation, is the one competitive advantage that you can gain over your competitors, because I'm very certain that they're going to be not doing what you will be doing beginning tomorrow. And you fix this one, you are way, 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 way ahead of them. So I will show you as much as I can today. We have a limited amount of time, and I'm going to put in 100%, but I'm going to just tell you this for complete transparency ahead of time, that there will be some topics that you will want to dive deeper into, and we just won't have the time. So as we go through this presentation, I will show you how you can get more on that subject through the resources that I offer. And then also I will show you later how you can get some great deals on some of the products we are launching and services. And that is, of course, if you are inspired to work with me, and if you feel that this is something that really could help you to the next level. So that's a lot to cover, and let's get going here. In a moment, I'm going to show you the steps of the blueprint, and I'll take you through it. But let's get started. And why am I even, the authority on the subject, or why do I even have anything to say about this? So my name's Beate Gillett. I'm originally from Germany. I've been a single mom. My daughter now, and you see her, he is 24 years old. I have really done a lot of the mistakes that I want you to avoid by not understanding, when I first got out and started my artist representation company and my production business, on how to protect myself properly and how to really build my business. I had two businesses that I was running side by side. One was a photographer representation, and we serviced clients like Mervyn's back when they were still in business, Fredericks of Hollywood. We did a lot of the swim stuff. Cameron Diaz actually was one of the models that we worked with for Ocean Pacific. And then I ran a production business, and people from all over the world came to produce with me here in Los Angeles. And I was sort of this hip and happening producer. And, I produced for about 6-7 months in the whole production season, September through March, for great clients like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and, some great catalog clients out of Europe. And then what happened to me is what you always read about that happens to other people, where my key vendor got a little bit too close to my employee, and they had a great idea on how to run their own business, which was my business basically just without me. And I fired my employee but 2 weeks too late. And I found out that she had given the mailing list to the client, to the photographer, and suddenly invoices that were payable to me were payable to them, and I got stiffed out of money. Really, really nasty. And so I sued them both, because hey, in Germany, unfortunately, we must be right, So I was really pushing hard to be proven right, which I probably would never do again. But back then, that just kind of was the thing that I I felt was the right thing to do. So I'm in this crazy lawsuit. But, remember, I just lost my photography representation business worth about $500,000 in volume. And I'm a little tight on money because production season doesn't start until September. So I'm putting out all this money to fight this lawsuit, and I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper into debt. And then finally, production season is around the corner. I have all these jobs on the books worth, over $500,000. And suddenly, one day I wake up and September 11th happened. And within literally 24 hours, I lost my entire production business, never to be able to rebuild it. So within a period of literally 9 months, not just did I lose my artist representation and all the photographers, because who wants to be involved in something so nasty that I was going through? I lost the clients because they were mad at me because I asked them to pay the invoices to me and not to the traders. And then I lost my production business in September 11th. So I was out in cold. And if you think that that's not bad enough, then I, have unfortunately more to top it. I went to Germany. My father has a stroke, but my father doesn't have a stroke. My father has pancreatic cancer. 6 weeks later, he dies in my arms. And then I'm standing at the grave in Nether Bavaria, and I have the phone in my hand, and we get a call from my office in Los Angeles, and they say we've been served a notice, and I'm losing my house. So, I really come to this not from the princess story that somebody handed it to me and then things just were better and better and better and better, but I'm really coming to this with a very practical approach. I've been there. If you enduring hardships, if you had to overcome obstacles, I can relate to you because because as you can see by my story, I did. But I never give up, and I don't believe that we are here to be defeated. I think we're here to be victorious, and we're here with these obstacles to find the opportunity in that and to come out on top. I had written a letter to the President of the United States at the time and a business plan. So when a letter from the White House arrived and put me in touch with the Small Business Administration, I was ready. And I want you to be as ready for your success and your breakthroughs as I was when that call came from the SBA. And they helped me to restructure my business plan and find me an underwriter for my loan, which freed up now $135,000 in debt, restructured all the debt into a 10-year long-term loan. That freed up my line of credit that I needed to get to profitability, and that was only 3 months. From that worst moment until I was at profitability was 3 months. And then I turned that and took it and became the world leader in my category, running a stock syndication for architecture, interior, and celebrity homes, only to then attract the attention of a Bill Gates company. And they wanted to know how I did it. And I told them that if they want to know how I do it, they need to buy my business. And they did. And that's how I turned myself into a multimillionaire. And the reason I'm telling you this story is really not to brag about how fabulous I am, but to really give you the relatability. So you can see here, this is how I started. I slept on a futon on the floor. And that was my car. And if you look really closely, you can actually see it's a 007 license plate. Let's not go into detail why that is on there, but that was my hot, sweet ride. So I understand what it takes to really figure out the steps to get from here to there and how to turn these ideas, turn that talent into a business, and how to make it really into a profitable thing. Why did I not just sit on the beach and have a whole bunch of beverages? I said that if one of us shatters the ceiling, especially if it's a creative, especially if it's a woman, the information really, really must be shared with everybody. So what do you think of that story? So go ahead and, just tell me if that's something that you can relate to, some of these hardships, and let's just move on. So what I really have learned is that there is a predictability in a pattern, that there are specific steps, and that's really how I first got to realize that I had a system that I was using, and I didn't even know that I was using a system. And so that's what we are going to be will be learning today, on what that really is all about. And this system is, really not to be vague about what we're doing, but to be really specific about it. It's a big mistake to try to please everybody. You want to really reach people and talk to them in their own language. And, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you go out and you hear these like vague conversations about people saying, well, here are, if you want to live a more fulfilled life, get my stuff. But what's that really mean? So I want you to walk away from these vague languages, but I want you to really think about what's possible for your business. And everything starts with the right customer. Is what are those steps to build your business in order? And what would happen if you'd followed those steps and there was actually an outcome that you had control over? What if you were able to really talk about what you do, your business, with that kind of confidence to say, this is what I do, this is what I provide, this is the problem I solve for you. And imagine that there's an easy way to connect with clients, and not that stumbling around trying to figure out what is it that they want, and can I provide that? How can I adjust my offer to what they want, what they might be wanting to buy? Because that is so difficult. There's so much guessing in there. And if you don't provide a solution that's geared directly to the needs of your clients, it's very difficult to make the sales. So there is a way to grow, build, and scale. And this is the fastest way. But the steps are in order, and you must take them in the proper order, or you'll just be spinning. So we really want to focus on, my goal is for you that we are not going to be tweaking your craft, because I'm pretty sure that you're very good at what you do. But we are going to be tweaking the way you talk about what you do, and the way you present it to your client, and in such a way that the client knows quickly and clearly on what you are good at and how that helps them. Because if you can master this, you are good to go. If you have that strategy and you know what those steps are, it's really easy to do. I mean, it's, it takes work and you have to flush it out, but there is a system to it, that you flush out who you're going after and get really clear who that ideal client is. And that determines what you design as your offer to them, because you're going to cater it directly who they are. And, in this program, you obviously get to figure out where you may have sort of missed a step. So, very important. I want you to know that, I work one-on-one with clients, and people pay me as much as $7,500. My day rate is going up in September to $7,500 to help them to figure this out. And this is what we're covering today, are really the exact steps that I am using for my private clients. And I'm doing this over and over and over again. So before you can follow all these steps, let's just go over what growth architecture is all about. So talk about how growing, building, and scaling a business works. So the first step here is that in the first step, we talk about you and your clients. And actually what I would like to do, Melinda, if you could just check in the chat room, if everybody, once we go through this, just share with us where you are in your business right now, or where you think you are. So I kind of get the idea. So in the first step, we're always concerned about, who am I and who are my clients? Who do I appeal to? How do I talk to them? How do I find more clients? So this is really figuring out that first. Excuse me, I had a little frog in my throat here. So in this first step, we're really flushing out all the details, the passion, the mission, the vision, the core values, the problems, and what it is that you can do to solve their problems, which is always based on your unique skill set. In the second step, now that we know who they are and who we are, now we are going to be offering them a product or a service, and we're going to be packaging it. And this is super important. We're going to package it exactly how they want it. It's going to be packaged in such a way that it solves an exact problem that we already have predetermined. It is absolutely magic. And in this one, this is our live event that we are launching in September on the 20th and 21st and 22nd of September, is we really go in and we create these packages on the spot. So that way, when you go out, you can say, hey, listen, if money is the issue, you go here. If you want the best value, you go here. If you want the best of the best, you go here. So we do this on the spot. In the Becoming an Authority, the authority platform building, that's part of our mastermind, which also we are launching in September. So as you can see, step 3, 4, and 5 is part of the mastermind. That's when we really step into becoming an authority. And it's really interesting. Many of the entrepreneurs that I meet are actually using this step before they've done the second or the first step. So this is when people go out and they do all the social media and the Facebook ads and the Google ads and they drive traffic, but they're really unclear to what they're driving traffic to and what they want the customers to do, or even who the customer is that they're going after. So, again, it is very important that you don't skip steps, that you approach this with no growth plan or try to wing it and have no strategy or no knowledge of what the steps are. My work is about showing you how to crawl into the head of the client and how to figure out, and I have a formula for that. How can we figure out what really matters to them deep, not on this surface thing where, live a happier life, but what does that actually mean? Does this mean that they want to pick up their kids at 4:45 because their daycare closes at 5? So what does that actually mean for this particular type of client that we're going after? And we are going to go through my formula on how to, and this is very important, create that unique language so you don't sound like a competitor. And if, and I always look at the websites as you're registering. I always look at the websites, and I find a lot of language that is completely non-specific, that could be that just talks about how good you are, how talented you are, how much you love what you do, and how happy your clients are. But you fail to really tell me the details as to why I want to get into, why do I want to work with you? Because it sounds like you're pretty much just talking about yourself. So I want you to switch that and be able to say concisely in 30 to 60 seconds how you stand out and how you are very unique. And now I'm going to share with you a video with one of my clients, Lauren, who spent a day with me, again, one-on-one. And I want you to just watch on how she talks about what she came up with when we applied this.
Hey, Beate, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We seem to be having a little problem with the audio on Lauren's video.
How is that? Is it delayed, or do you have no audio?
No, it seems. I think the audio is just very low on that side because I can kind of just barely hear it.
Okay, so let me see if I turn this up. Are you guys, can you hear this? Sorry about that. Is that better?
Nope. Unfortunately, that's not coming through.
Okay, I'm very sorry about that. So let me just relate the gist of this. So basically, what Lauren is saying that, when we started to work together, she was very confused. She came in and she had multiple businesses, and sort of the fun part about this video is that she came in and she was a fashion stylist. And when you hear her introduction in here, you really hear her talk about on how suddenly she understands who she's servicing and what the problem is that she is resolving for her clients. And that made such a difference for her. And when you look at sort of the body language on what a huge breakthrough she had when she was working with me. She has gone out now and she's done 5-figure launches since. I mean, she is a real success story. And I obviously play this because I want to demonstrate that it is possible. I really apologize for this. What I might be doing is I might be switching the settings here on my computer. Let's just see if I can do that for the sound. And if I switch it over to the output, the internal speakers, if that changes. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Melinda, will you tell me?
Absolutely.
Make this into action. It's crazy.
Much better. Yes, it is. Okay. Absolutely.
If someone's thinking about taking a VIP day, don't hesitate. I mean, from the first phone call that I had to figure out if this was for me, I knew it was for me, and something tells me you'll have the same feeling, and just act on it. Like, don't wait 2 seconds. Like, you have to do it because it changes you so much. Walked in the door, I already knew that something was changing, and I told everyone about it. Like, you need to do this because it's a game changer.
All right. Thank you so much for your patience and for, and now that we figured out what the issue is, I make sure that it's not happening on the additional. All right. So let's go and dive into our first problem. So the first problem that we have when we talk about our customers and finding customers is there are so many different types, right? So there's millennials, there's baby boomers, there are people who have money, there are people who are broke, there are people. So really, the first issue you have when you get started with identifying your airtight avatar, your customer profile, is there are so many different things. Ideal client. So there's the demographics, there's money, there's emotional components, there's wants, there's desires, needs, there's all kinds of things. So all of these things go into this because you cannot sell to everybody. You have to sell to the right person, the person that is your best fit. And then you immediately have the second, when you have decided who that best fit is, who exactly is that person? And now I want you to really think about this. When we say we're going after millennials, so now we know that they're in a particular age group, and the age group is 18 to, I think now 30, somewhere around that. Are they men? Are they women? You can't talk to men and women always the same way because we don't want the same thing. Is there a racial divide? Is there somebody who, a white American, has a different agenda than somebody who is an African American, let's say, living in Europe, or somebody of Middle Eastern descent? So there are very specific demographic things that you want to keep in consideration that will affect on how you talk to But this is one of the things that you really need to be understanding about your customer is like, how does the demographic affect how the second part that goes in is money. So how much disposable income people, their budget is, what their business income is, affects on how much they can spend and how much disposable income they're having. And I want to just mention this on this slide. People always believe that money is the biggest decision maker for, and it never is. It's always about the value you provide, because I bet you, like you go out shopping, you have a budget in mind, then you see something you absolutely love, it's a little bit more expensive than what you thought you were going to spend, and boom, there just goes your budget, and you just doubled your budget just because you fell in love with something and you're going to wear it over and over again, and because it makes you feel a certain way, it makes you feel amazing, successful, beautiful, powerful. So we are willing to spend the money on the stuff that gives us the satisfaction, but obviously money is part of the, because we are putting these customer profiles together because we want to know just approximately what they're having. So if somebody is on a $40,000 salary, they are not buying a $100,000 car. So that might be the wrong positioning for that. So, again, it's about who are they? What do they look like? And what do they do? And what do they do with their money? And how can I get a piece of that? And what do they value that they will be spending money on? Then we have another element that goes into it, which is the emotional component. So here is where we talk about relationship, love, care, connection. Some people are not driven by money. Some people are driven on on really the value of, is it ethically sourced? Is it fair trade? When you go into REI, they say passion comes before profits for them, So the cause is more important than making profit, and they give much of their profits away to the causes they believe in. So you couldn't sell to a company like that based upon profit margins. You have to sell to a company like that based upon a connection with values that really matter to their company. And that often is also misunderstood. We talk about drives a Prius. You can't entice them with stuff. They don't want stuff. They want, they might be a minimalist. So you have to know this before you sell to your customers on what that even means and how valuable these emotional components are for them, affect their buying decisions. Then we talk about what are their wants. Now, the wants is kind of a thing that is very often misunderstood. I'm going to just drive that point home with you right now, is if you talk about that somebody really needs your service, that might be the truth, but people don't want to buy what they need. I'm honest about that. People buy what they want. They buy stuff because it makes them feel a certain way, or it supports their ideas, or it gives them a competitive edge. So I work a lot with Myers-Briggs with my private clients, and the Myers-Briggs really helps with identifying the 4 decision-making styles that people have. And I will talk about Myers-Briggs in a little bit and how you can sort of learn which type you are and then figure out what sort of the other types are. That is a huge decision maker in how we approach business and how I tell my clients to approach business, because you are just one type, but there are other types that who make buying decisions based on other criteria other than the one that is important to you. So you cannot just sell to yourself. I mean, you could, but why would you do that if there's a whole other there and all you had to do is shift and adjust the language? I mean, can you even imagine? That would basically just triple the people you could reach if you could figure out the language on how to talk about what you do in the 4 different ways on how people are making decisions. And that's like one of the very, very powerful tools that go into here. Do not sell people what people needs. People want stuff that make them feel a certain way. So one business, as you now figured out, business can have multiple avatars. So there's a different language, different verbiage that needs to be used for each one of the avatars. A corporate client needs to be addressed differently than somebody who is your age, who lives, who's sort of aligned with you. You can be a lot more casual with them. So when you really want to follow this formula, and this is one of the things that we do in Turn Your Talent into a Business, I've really now honed and identified that formula, and it's sort of a done with you formula where you get it out and you can really identify all of them, because you most likely don't have one avatar, you most likely have a number of different avatars. Then you have another problem, because who are you going to go after? Well, that's very easy. You go after the affluent avatar first, because once you know all the different avatars, it's very, very clear which of them is the top dog, which of them is the one that has the most money. So please go where the money is. And then once you have your typical client nailed, you can roll out more products to this client. Like, for example, I work with this one company, Outdoor Tech, that produces all these headsets and these like sort of rugged outdoor wear, and they're really high quality and they're very well made and the sound is amazing. And so I keep buying again and again from them, and they, for some reason, they haven't figured out. Every 6 months they come out with a new product that I want. So that's really the trick to maximizing your return for your business, is to identify the typical client and nail that, and then keep selling to them over and over again. It's much better than just trying to find more clients again and again and again. Why not maximize that? So you want to avoid selling to various and different product types. So let's talk now about, in Turn Your Talent into a Business, we have checklists for all of these things and the emotions. I actually literally have checklists for these emotions. So I shared with you in the very beginning that for those of you who want to go deeper, that I will be offering you an amazing a deal. So let's just get that out of the way, because we have a lot more to cover. I'm going to be offering you the entire Turn Your Talent into a Business that is priced at $1,997 for $997. But I'll tell you more about that. And I have lots of great stuff we talk about. It's all the stuff that you need and want included. But for right now, just know that that's coming. So what we've done now is we have gone into the 5 modules of Turn Your Talent into a Business. So you see there's 5 modules. I made the circle around the airtight avatar. This is how you find really good clients. So I've given you already some deep dives into what goes into creating the airtight avatar, but obviously you see that there are other steps that are equally important that also need to be going into. And this is our new launch. That's our new product icon here. And I'm going to play a short video with Yumi. And what I want you to pay attention to is on how successful she ended up being after having worked with me.
Hi, my name is Yumi, and I'm the owner of Yumi Consults, which is a woman-led tech company for startups and businesses. And we connect the dots across teams, eliminate bottlenecks, improve ROI, and deliver successful market-ready solutions. I had the chance to work with Viate for VIP Day, and I was at a critical stage of my company's growth where I'd done okay at the level I was at, but I really needed help to expand my business further in terms of where I wanted to be. And I absolutely loved working with Viate because off the bat, I knew she was a great fit. She had a background that I felt had been through a lot of challenges that made me feel confident that she could speak on the same level with me as a business owner. During VIP Day, I was thrilled that she was so prepared with everything, that really walked me through step by step to help me evaluate my business foundation and unique selling proposition. It was really grounding to take my concept from A to Z in just a day. The best thing I felt after leaving is just the confidence to express my goals and have a new way of looking at how I wanted to take my business to the next level. I followed up with Beate's VIP recommendations. I incorporated those principles I learned in my business structure. And so I was super excited for the next follow-up status call, because in the interim, after applying her practices, within 3 weeks, I closed my first sale using the principles that we developed that day together. And I can say that the sale surpassed my original ROI investment with Beate by a huge, huge margin. And I'm so excited about the next steps and really watching this process evolve. And I just can't thank her enough.
So with her, and what often happens is, it is not uncommon that when my clients that have enrolled into a program go through the program, that they're already adding additional principles immediately, and then increasing the value of what they're offering to their clients, and the communication obviously is improving. This is really the stuff that works on a one-on-one level. And if you are a one-on-one person, here's the link for you to use to apply for an Uncovery session. I only work with people who I know that I can help. So if you're on this call and you want to talk to me, by all means, do this. And in Yumi, I was amazed, because within literally 3 weeks, she had secured a 5-figure contract. And then the client loved her so much because of the value she created, that they upped that contract by another $50,000. So I am certain that it is possible, because I see it all the time. And I would love for you to be really part of this tribe, or the beehive, where I can share your success stories, because it's really possible. So now let's talk about the third problem that I've identified as we sort of building this first step of growth architecture. And that's a huge one, because now once you know who your client is, how are you going to talk about yourself? This is where it gets pretty dicey oftentimes, because that's when we start to stumble around, we are unclear, or again, I told you I was looking at some of the websites of the people who have registered. Man, it is a I statement bonanza. It's like, I do this, I like this, I do this. Clients don't want to hear about you. They want to hear how what you do helps them or provides them with value. And when we focus on our craft and not what we are solving, it can't really work. We have to really learn, and that's what we're covering in detail, and really focusing on in transforming the passion into profits to create that language in detail. And you heard Yumi, and unfortunately you didn't quite get to hear Lauren, how she talked about it. But they got this down now, because they now know that what they're offering is they're providing solutions, and for who they're providing solution for, and what that looks like in the end. So in the virtual course, Turn Your Talent into Business, we are creating the mission statement, we are creating the vision statement, and the value proposition. Melinda, can you bring the link in? Because I'm going to take you through this now exactly step by step, so you guys can, I'll just show you everything that's included.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Okay, great. The link to the summary page. So I would like you to just click on there right now, and then go to the first point with shifting from selling to solving. So and I'm going to only spend like 2-3 minutes on this, just taking you through so you know what the different modules are, because then I want to spend some more time on the final piece, the advantage that I talked to you. So I have one more very important point to make. So please stay with me here for a moment. So in the first step of growth architecture, and again, we're talking about what are the steps. The steps are, in the first in the first one, in the uncovery, we need to figure out who you are and what you are passionate about. And then how do we connect that with your customer? We want to understand how and why you are the right person for the job, and how to portray that in a conversational, relaxed, and compelling. So that's everything step. Then in the second step, that's when we really transform the passion and the skills in the value proposition. So I bet, and this is so difficult for so many of us, including myself, I shared it, and for those of you who know, I spent $10,000 for 3 hours to just get this part fixed because it wasn't working for me. I had the idea, I knew I provided value, but I couldn't nail it. And so the equivalent of what the growth architecture is for my business, the system, the thing that you do, that is your value prop. I promise you it's not taking pictures. I promise you it's not selling jewelry. I promise you it's not selling anything. I promise you the value proposition is always how you make people feel. But that has to be the language, has to be created following. That's what we're doing in this course. Then we are actually creating the airtight avatar, and you already done quite a few portions of this in this webinar, and obviously you can go and then create the customer avatar based upon what we've talked about. But of course, in there we go like 6 steps deeper, where we have, as I said, the checklist of what it really is that they're feeling. And once you read it like page by page by page, it's very easy for you to just go over that and say, oh yeah, of course. No, they don't like this. Check. They like this. No check mark. And so you really go over this page by page and flush out what applies to you. Then we are using the storytelling formula, and that's how to explain and sell anything. How do you take your story, your life story? What makes you so passionate about this? How do you put that in? And we probably heard this 1,000 times as well. Storytelling is so important now in business because people will know you offered them, but people will remember how you made them feel. And if feeling is the result of an emotion. And if you can create an emotional connection in your copy, in the way you talk, in what you present on your website, your engagement is going to be just so much higher. And finally, in the 5th step, we talk about how to achieve growth architecture and creating a foundational business plan. It's not a big business plan, but what it is, it has the cornerstones of the business plan, which you do need to make that, to grow in that systematic approach and that strategic approach that we have been going on. And so if you are ready to join or enroll, go ahead and do that. But we have obviously more stuff to cover. Thank you, Melinda. That was excellent. So again, here are the transforming passion to profits. Here are the 5 steps in a quick overview. So you have that for the replay of this webinar if you want to look over this. And then here, the 2nd step of growth architecture. And the reason I'm sharing this is because the sales portion is just as important as figuring out who your client is. Because remember, we are now talking about who we are going to be selling to. And this is just a great guy. I just piloted this program in Austin, and this is the live event that will be running in September, and this is very short.
Hello, I'm Jay Foss. I'm a DJ from the Boston area, and I came here to really hone the sales process. I think of it as being a weak point for myself, but I've learned that I just need some tweaking, some refinement, and just a chance to really follow up and provide materials to clients who might communicate in a different way than myself. And it's hugely valuable. I'm so excited to go home and start putting this into practice.
And what would you tell somebody who's thinking about doing this class?
Stop thinking. If I were you, if you're unsure of your sales process, or even if you're sure of your sales process, but you want to refine it and make it that much better, then I would join the class right now.
Okay, and the reason I'm telling you this is obviously, there's a particular reason on why I brought the second step in. Is the first step is to turn your talent into business. The second step is what you offer and how you offer this, because we are offering this to you today as a package deal. So Melinda, would you bring in the offer, please, and let me know when it's up?
Absolutely. It should
Thank
be there.
You so much.
No.
Okay. So the Turn Your Talent into a Business is a virtual class. And the reason I did this, I have such great success stories with some of the people that I felt that the one-on-one is cost prohibitive for quite a few people. And I think it's a really honest approach to go in and to say, listen, why don't you do the first step and see how that works for you? And if we, as we create the relationship, as you really see on how committed I am to your success, because that's what it's about. I did it during this. So you can do it. So you can go out and you can make your mark and you can service people. We had a jeweler in this class and he started crying because we got so emotional about that come to his jewelry store to get that signature piece, that milestone piece that was significant for this moment in time that will always be connected with this one moment, this emotion that they're feeling. It's a piece of jewelry. It's not a piece of jewelry. When you understand these slight differences, it really drives the point home of who is it that you can really make an impact on. And it feels amazing when you then have somebody walk out with a piece of jewelry. You didn't sell them something, you didn't push something on them, but you giving them something that they're taking away, that they will forever connect with this emotion. It is so powerful. So now what we're going to be doing is, I told you that the first step, $997, and that's the step, turn your talent into a business. This is the online course that starts, the virtual course, online course that starts in June 2017. So after Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to start putting the pre-module on. So once a week, the stuff gets stripped, and then we meet once a week live in to answer all your questions. It's structured. You get it's in a membership site. You can ask me questions right from in the membership site. It's actually very, very interactive. But because I'm launching, I am giving you the second step completely free. It's a bonus. So how to sell more and feel good about it, another $1,997. The live event for 3 days in September in Los Angeles, you can take for free. It's, I do require a $97 seat reservation fee because I have materials that I'm printing, because I told you we're doing the packages on the spot. You can even bring a second person for only $197. So again, so just that we are covered with our expenses. So you get 2 of those steps, $97. And I offer you can do 3 payment plans at $397, or you can save $200 when you invest in the whole thing in full. But as I say, wait, there's more. I talked to you about how important Myers-Briggs really is. So Myers-Briggs is really the bridge that helps you with understanding the logic that people use to make decisions, or the emotional component of making a decision. Somebody who's competitive will make a decision differently than somebody who is emotional. My sister who lives in Germany, who doesn't wear makeup, who doesn't color her hair, who only wears flat shoes, has a completely different set of values than I do. I color my hair, I wear lipstick, I wear makeup, I like to look good, I like to go out, I buy stuff. She's completely different from me. So you could sell to both of us if you adjust the approach. So Myers-Briggs really helps you to understand who you are. So I'm giving you an executive personality assessment. This is through a third-party provider. I'm a certified Myers-Briggs practitioner because it's so powerful. So I'm going to show you your type, and then we're going to figure out what these other types are. And as we sort of go through the program, now you suddenly can use these ideas and adjust your language on your website and in your marketing materials in such a way that it appeals to the 4 different decision-making styles of people. It's a $500 value. Get this for absolutely free. So if you are registering, all you pay is $997 right now. Your ticket will be, we'll tag your contact, so to speak, and make sure that that's set aside for you. For September, you'll get notifications. You'll immediately start with the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, and we're off running with the first step. The advantage is if you do the first step now, September, come the holiday season, guess what? You are ready to go. You are in full swing, and you can actually make this your breakthrough year. So this is our launch offer. If you want to save the $3,497, then you can go ahead and register right now. And I'm going to take you through the next the next big thing that I promised that I was going to share, which is the competitors and what your competitors are probably doing. So this is what traditionally everybody does, right? So your competitors go in and they say, I'm going to design the product and the service. And then I'm going to find clients who want to buy that. And then they're going to talk about all the things that are part of the product. And then they're keeping their fingers crossed. What you have learned today is to do this completely differently. Is you go in and hold on, I'm actually trying to find the slide that I just have here. Right. So what you are doing completely different is you know that there's to build a business. You know which step you're in and which one you should be doing next. You have the outline for a best fit client, the airtight avatar. And with that airtight avatar, you know the person you're going after. And that means that you now can create your products and your services and offer them specifically to this person. Now you're not selling, now you're solving problems. Do you see what a huge mindset difference this is? Let the other guys on their websites and their marketing materials, let them describe exactly in great detail, in 100 I-sentences on why they are so passionate about what they do and not talk about their clients. And have you be that person that goes in and says, I know what matters to you. I know what you want. I know what you desire. I know what you need to be solved. And here's my product. And it solves exactly that. And then they will tell you, like what happens to me so many times, they say, were you at my dining table last night? I just talked about this. But ask your clients what their problems are, because they really, frankly, don't know. There's a formula, a method that I have figured out that I'll be sharing with you if you so feel compelled to be a part of my launch and take advantage of these great offers that I'm having. My stuff works. It's proven again and again and again, and I would love to do the same with you. So now I just want to open it. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type in your questions, and then we'll go over this. And for everybody who actually pull the trigger now until the offer expires, you see how the ticker goes here. I will be adding a copy of my book, Happy Woman, Happy World, that I'll sign and personally mail to you as my thank you gift and my fast action incentives. So let's open the room. Melinda, are you there? What's going on in the chat room?
Well, not a lot at the moment. I wanted to see if maybe we could go over the Myers-Briggs a little bit. Personally, when I began working with you a little over a year ago, I remember, I'd read your book, which the book that gave me a personal breakthrough. Beate was one of my first client. in my freelancing business. And I was so lucky to have gotten her. It was definitely Providence, I think. I'd read her book, which helped me learn why I wasn't being successful in the corporate world. It taught me why interpersonal relationships can be so difficult there, and really helped me to branch out onto my own. And then pairing that with the Myers-Briggs, it really helped me. I know Beate and I, we have a slight difference in our assessments, and that tiny difference has really allowed us to work well together. She is the creative, she is the feeling, she likes to go for the high level stuff, and I am more the grounded, what is our framework here, what's the appointment time, that kind of thing. And I felt that those insights were extremely valuable for my business.
And I love that you're bringing this that you're bringing this in, because that is actually another way we are applying the Myers-Briggs is in our teamwork. I do not recommend cloning mini-me's. I do recommend that you are very strategic about the people that you're bringing onto your team. So if I'm a big picture person, the leader of my back office, the person that's keeping me in line, shouldn't be a big picture person. It should be the person that can execute on my big pictures and then put them down in small, executable, incrementable steps, and then keep me on target and on track so I don't go off into yet another big picture thing. And that's what makes Melinda and my work so successful. So you're absolutely right. The Myers-Briggs, this big eye opener. And again, you can have this for absolutely free. As part of this this special offer that I'm making while we are launching this program, is to really learn about yourself, about the kind of team that you need, and to bring other people into your fold. So
Absolutely.
I think we are now, and I am not seeing any questions that are coming in. So if there's anything at all, you guys have my email. You can also just connect with me directly, but I really, really recommend you do this. It's a game changer. Again, if you're here, if you listen to this, there must be something other, and I thank you very much.
I would like to add just one quick thing. I've told Beate this in private, and I realized recently I haven't really said it in a lot of other places. As Beate's right arm, I definitely I see everything that goes on behind the scenes. I get to see.
Okay.
Are we good? Hello.
Yes, we're good. I just came back.
Excellent, and I apologize for my video. It wasn't quite happening today. But so what I wanted to tell everyone is, once I got in with Beate, of course, a big portion of my job at first was a lot of research. And I know we've all seen that there are coaches out there. Beate is definitely not the only one available. I can say that Beate is the only one I've seen so far who's going to truly be with you every step of the way, not just figuratively or metaphorically, but she will be emailing you. She will be calling you. She, you saw the reviews from some of her previous clients, and she has more. They will just be in touch for, hello, how are you doing? She had Pratima, who had just gigantic successes. And I've seen, just Beate will send her a message. Hey, I checked out your website, and, this is looking great. And she will also chime in with, oh, what is this that you're doing? We need to look at this and tweak this a little bit to make sure that you are sending out your correct message. So really the price.
Yeah, I think you're making a great point. We're really building a relationship, and once you're part of the inner circle, it really is all about building the relationships. And Lauren Messiah, I'm on her list. I watch her videos. I take care of, I tell her when I Yumi, we go to lunch. So it's really about building the relationship. This isn't a one-way street. This is really about let's do this together. All
Absolutely.
right. I think we are a few minutes over. Melinda, thank you so much for helping me put this together. And I thank you guys for being here.
Did you see Bronak
No, what did she say? My Bronak, she's amazing, that girl. You know, I need to hear from you more, by the way. I'm just going to try to get over here to my chat. Yes. Oh my God, has it already been 4 years ago, Bronak? That's ridiculous. Well, and Bronak, who is here, you know, just to say this, she's an award-winning Amazeballs now, because she went out and she did a video, a commercial. And was it the heart attack thing that you did? Yes. And it just was a game changer. And suddenly, you know, she's like beaming and she's like, hey, guess what? You know, I just won an award, and her business is doing great. So the stuff really, really works. So, you know, let's take it to the next level, everybody. If you're here,
Thank you, Marcus.
what's holding you back? There's never a good time. There's never extra money. There's never another thing. And as I said, you know, this is now about growth architecture. We're going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to you know, really building businesses. And Rachel, you know, Marcus and Bronak, I don't know if she was in your class, but she just hit the $250,000. And we just worked together, and we built a plan that was in my email to get to $1 million. So it is totally possible. So register, join me for this program, and then let's make stuff happen and really grow, build, and scale your business. All right, everybody, this is it from Los Angeles. I thank you very much for being here, and I hope I see you in a few days when we begin Turn Your Talent into a Business, and then again in September. Thank you. Goodbye.